we started noticing that Drew was different. Probably around 5 or 6 months old. He just was not hitting his milestones.
He was difficult right out of the gate. Had a tough first year of life, just eating and in pain. Sensory issues were one of the things that, regardless of how much we threw at it, continued to be an issue.
Matthew was actually diagnosed with autism when he was 3, and we had started seeing some just little red flags between 2 and 3, and the official diagnosis was at 3.
There was a maze of what's wrong with our child. You know, she's not able to communicate, she's having tantrums, meltdowns.
She had lost the language that she had developed up until around 12 months. She used to say like single words like mommy, daddy, pop, pop, and things like that. And by around 15 months, all those words were gone. She wasn't able to talk anymore.
He was diagnosed at his 2nd birthday, and I think that was probably one of the worst days of our lives.
The Lionheart School was established in 2000 by a group of families and professionals who had the courage to commit to a vision that would impact future generations.
I knew, that he just needed more. There was no peace in trying to keep up with the normally developing peers. It was just more stressful than anything. I guess I'd felt such a disconnect with the other parents in the regular preschool setting.
It just became increasingly clear that his availability to learn was really hindered by his constant movement and constant almost coping mechanism of trying to feel okay in his own skin in the world that he was brought into.
I remember we came up here and met with Elizabeth, and the inn was full, no room. And I think that was 1 year, and then the next summer we were knocking at the door again, and I'll never forget, Elizabeth coming up here and to be honest, just expecting to just have another tour of the school. Elise was with us, I think, that time, and she was, looking at the classrooms, and then literally we were blindsided by you coming up and saying, we'd love to have her. And I'll never forget that day.
The thing that was so different about the school is that when we walked in, the children all came up to us and just, acknowledged us in whatever way. Some would say hi, some would talk to us, some would just look at us. I mean, the attention that was there with those kids, they were just so involved in what was going on in their world. And that's what Natalie needed. She needed to be involved.
We spent so much time and energy trying to explain him and help them better understand all of his needs. And then we come to Lionheart. It was the first time I just felt a connection that somebody else understood our world.
So I think coming to Atlanta to Lionheart at 5½, we're really seeing that some of the strategies, it's almost like we're pulling on everything we've learned in the last 5 years in one place, in one setting, with the same people who all know what they're doing and who all care about Ian. And it just seems to be a magical combination.
And what I love about Lionheart for Matthew is that he can come in and on any given day, however he comes in is how they meet him, and that changes from day to day based on how he's feeling, what's going on with him, what he's excited about, what he's passionate about in his head at the moment. But the teachers and the staff here are just magical at meeting him there and pulling him or wooing him into being a part of what's going on. And he has become so much more interested and in tune with people here, and it's just been an incredible transformation to watch.
What we kind of learned throughout all this process is that, essentially, instead of trying to cure Austin, we've learned that he's cured us.
Lionheart's motto, where we see our children with our hearts and address their needs with our minds, has been the driving philosophy behind addressing the needs of our students and their families.
And what's so been drastically different about Lionheart and coming here, and the relief, it's, you bring Austin to school and y'all are telling us what to do, and y'all get it. At the end of the day, someone's here to actually support us, not just for Austin, but as a family, And that sense of relief that you get from being in an environment that's appropriate for your child, where he can actually thrive and go through that, words can't really describe, what you get out of having this community of people who are, there's the aha moment of we actually get it.
Lionheart just provides more than just academics for the children. They're able to learn social skills. Every learning style is addressed. The children aren't isolated for not understanding something. They work with the children. And then along with all that, they get the therapies, they get the speech, they get the OT, and it's all within the school day. And so the children aren't being dragged around at 4 o'clock in the afternoon trying to have a therapy that they need.
In my bed.
He is communicating with us, he is making eye contact, he is asking and answering questions, processing issues that, in a world, in a mainstream setting that was too overwhelming for him. He couldn't even go there. And then in a structured setting that's meeting his needs, that's understanding him, he is able to process and communicate and learn and focus, and we are just seeing such benefits at home.
He's able to kind of step outside his own world and at least look to his peers and notice that there's a world outside of that small circle that he had to stay so physically focused on, even having his head down at a lot of times. Now he can look outward and see his peers.
You never know what works and what really doesn't, but Lionheart's always been the thing that we feel has, honest to gosh, worked.
The staff that's here, they're extraordinary. They go over and above the call of duty, and they're obviously doing what they love, and it shows.
Our hope and dream and plan for Matthew is for him to go to college. He is getting what he needs at Lionheart. He is getting the academics. He is getting the support that he needs to be able to function in a bigger environment when he's ready to move to that point.
All of us have a need to belong, and these kids have a need to belong. And what this community provides for them is that ability to have peers like themselves, be able to interact with those peers and really feel at home. That's not something you get anywhere else.
Our prayer for our children has always been embodied by the verse Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for good and not for evil, plans to give you a future and a hope. And I think that's exactly what Lionheart has done for our family. It's just given us a hope to know he's in the right place, and just to feel that hope that his future is going to be so bright because of Lionheart is just such a blessing.
The Lionheart School's mission of meeting the needs of families and the children has been made possible with the support of many. And as we move forward into our second decade in a new facility, our outreach will continue to grow, and your gifts will continue to make a difference every day in the lives of more children and families.